You merely adopted the dark. I was born in it, molded by it. What can we learn from Bane and Batman in the movie The Dark Knight Rises? A lot, actually. It's that even when we might be at our lowest, this might not be a bad thing, because there's a lot to be learned from the times when you're actually forced to go through the darkness and when you have no other option but to find the light. When your back's up against the wall and you have no other option, this is going to be teaching you about the strength that you have deep within that otherwise many of us would actually never know. So although I don't think everyone has to go through these super dark times, for those of us who do have that as part of our path and as part of our individual journeys, that darkness could either break you or it could actually serve as your springboard to becoming the strongest version of yourself. So this is what I'm going to be talking about in today's video. Let's get to it now.
Give me a...
What's happening, guys? Welcome back to the Jared and James channel. I'm Jared Weiss. If you guys didn't know that, must mean you're not subscribed to the channel, so you know what to do. Hit that subscribe button, be sure to leave a like, drop a comment, let me know your thoughts on this video, follow me on every platform, and also if you guys haven't done so already, make sure to check out my book, Fight Through It by Jared Weiss. All the links purchased it are on my website, which is jaredbryanweiss.com. That's JAREDRYANWEISS.com. Buy the book, support me, any support is very much appreciated. So in today's video, we're going to be talking about the movie The Dark Knight Rises and how being molded by darkness,
Molded by it.
can actually bring out the strongest, nicest, kindest people if you actually choose to view it as an opportunity. Recently, I had someone telling me how he'd made all these massive mistakes within the past few years of his life.
I was wrong, you were right.
As long as you're willing to admit that now.
He'd been doing great, but then all of a sudden he just went down this horrible spiral, this bad path, and he's wondering if it's even possible for him to get back on track. So I reminded him that it's never too late to make a change in your life.
You can change, you can adapt.
I don't care if you're 15, 20, 100, 120. If you still have more life to go on this earth, then it's never too late to change up your ways, change up your habits, change up your words, your thoughts, your beliefs, your actions. So I ended up saying to this guy, yes, you may be at the super low place in your life right now.
Rock bottom.
But you've also gotten yourself out of that in the past. You can either choose to see it as, I made all these mistakes, my life is never going to get better, it's all my fault, and I can never make it back. But as I like to see it, when you hit rock bottom, whether it's actually due to your own choices or whether it's due to some bad luck or things that are beyond your control, the only way to go from there is up. You can't get any lower than that. So you may as well start by crawling your way back up one step at a time, one day at a time, one good positive action at a time.
We can fight our way back into the light. We can climb out of hell, 1 inch at a time.
New beginnings will often find themselves in deep, dark endings. You can choose to say, oh, I'm already this age, how am I ever going to make it back? I've wasted so much of my life, etc., etc. Or you could actually flip that perspective and you could say to yourself, wow, I'm only this age, and I made all these mistakes up until this point. So now, for the rest of my life, I'm going to take all these lessons, I'm not going to make the same mistakes, I'm going to learn from them, and now I actually know what not to do going forward. Furthermore, another very powerful example when it comes to being able to use the darkness to mold yourself into something positive, someone else was actually telling me recently,
You sure have a lot of friends. How come I never see any of these people?
They want to know why they never see you.
one of my gym friends was telling me this whole story about how, he had a very rough childhood / upbringing, he made a lot of bad decisions early on in his life, he ended up in some very dark places, which a lot was actually his own doing, but now if you actually watch this guy doing his lifts, he can lift insane amounts of weight, and meanwhile, he only started lifting a year ago. So recently I was asking him how he got to this place of being able to squat 500 plus pounds, deadlift 500 plus pounds. And he was telling me a lot of it is actually because he has these demons that he's buried and all these dark places that he can actually pull from. Now, this isn't something I believe everyone has to do. I don't think every individual person has to go through extreme darkness on their journey, but it's as Tim Grover talks about in the book Relentless when it comes to his trainee Kobe Bryant, that was actually the whole Black Mamba mentality, which is, it was this way of separating who he is on the court from who he is off the court.
There's a difference between who you are and what you are. And what I am when I step on that court is, I become that. I am that killer snake. Stone cold, man.
It was essentially his way of giving himself permission to be this cold-blooded killer.
Wow, a killer.
And this assassin on the court. And as I said, I don't think that doing this is the only way, But maybe sometimes we do need like a little bit of darkness to pull from in order to find our greatest strength. I mean, as many of you know, with me, I'm an extremely happy, extremely positive person to the utmost degree, but like having said that, if I'm going for a new PR, sometimes like I make sure to think back to all the doubters, all the haters, all the people who said like I'd never be able to do this or that, and then I actually use that energy in addition to the people who support me and all that awesome energy, and I sort of like combine it like into this whole yin and yang to pull from in order to provide me with the best of both worlds and to give me the strength like I need like to overcome this. And furthermore, in my case, as many of you know, I've seen some super dark times in my young life, in my only 28 years of being on this earth, when it came to my whole life-threatening illness situation, as well as my whole healing journey like I've been on. But what is it like I'm able like to learn about myself through these dark times? I know what I can overcome because I've experienced these extreme challenges. The more that you go through in life, the more of an opportunity you actually have to grow through those situations. These times can either shape you or break you. A lot of people, when they go through these incredibly dark times and these incredible challenges, a lot of people end up bitter, a lot of people end up getting broken down, using these hard times as like excuses as to why they're not able to break free. But others of us are actually able to find the light through the darkness. We're able like to make it all the way to the other side. We're able to see it all the way through. I mean, every day I'm proving to myself that like anything is possible. Anything's possible! I'm essentially a living, walking anomaly. Not many people get the opportunity or the chance to cheat death as I have, and to hope that like for your sake you don't have to go through what I've been through in order to achieve this perspective on life. And to be honest, like I've actually always had like a very similar perspective on life, but like going through what I've been through has of course deepened this. But hopefully you guys don't have to go through this and you guys could just learn from people like me. But now every time that like I'm faced with a super challenging situation, I could be like, I've been here before.
Wait a minute. This looks familiar. I can do this.
I've seen much worse. I've seen much harder. I've done way more with less. So therefore, this challenge can and will be overcome too. I know that. It's not even a question anymore. Once again, another reminder, you merely adopted the dark. I was born in it, molded by it.
You merely adopted the dark. I was born in it, molded by it.
Sometimes in life, to get to heaven, you have to go through hell first. And at points, it may even feel like you're crawling through hell, you're never gonna make it out. But remember, that, like, those super tough times wouldn't be given to you if you had no way of overcoming them. Those times are actually designed to shape you, build you a new perspective, and give you the strength that you need to overcome and to reach all of your goals. Now, another super powerful scene from the movie The Dark Knight Rises is when Batman, aka Bruce Wayne, was placed in the prison that Bane had actually built himself from, and he's trying to make this jump to get out of this dark prison. And meanwhile, what he's told is that only one other person has ever been able to make this jump successfully. And interestingly enough, that person was actually a kid. His first few attempts, he couldn't do it until what happens? One of the prisoners actually says to him that when he has this rope attached to him, he has no fear of death.
You do not fear death. You think this makes you strong. How can you move faster than possible? Fight longer than possible? Without the most powerful impulse of the spirit.
So therefore, he knows that like, if he fails this jump, he's gonna be totally fine.
As the child is, without the rope, then fear will find you again.
So he says to him that like, he has to do this without the rope if he even wants a chance of succeeding. Because when you have that fear, of death in you, there's no option but to succeed. Because in that case, it's either succeed or die trying. Now, I'm not telling you guys to do something that's gonna put your life in danger, but maybe it's time that like, you start taking that unconventional path. Taking that career choice like you've always wanted to, but you've been too afraid of being judged, or because maybe that job doesn't have a guaranteed salary. Maybe it's going for that crazy goal, whether it's something athletic, whether it's something in the weight room, whether it's becoming a musician or an artist. Or maybe it's something as simple as making that vulnerable post on social media that, like, you've always wanted to make, but like you're too afraid of being judged. So it's time for you to cut the ropes on your own dreams and start going for them full-fledged, full force, because otherwise you're never gonna know what could have been and you're never gonna know what you actually could have become. I mean, thinking back to when I was little, one of my least favorite things It used to always happen whenever I was playing sports at like one of my friends' houses and someone would lose, or on the other hand, we would just be like messing around and everyone would always say, "Oh, I'm not trying my hardest.
I'm not even breaking a sweat.
Or on the other hand, a lot of them would always say to me, "Why are you trying so hard? It's just a game." As if actually trying hard and giving something your all is actually a bad thing. But like, what does it sound a lot like? The whole crabs in the bucket story. Because, as I mentioned numerous times in the past, when you're going after your biggest goals, other people are going to see this as a threat to them because a lot of them have actually chosen the conventional path. A lot of them have chosen the safe way. The way that like they've been told doesn't have any risk involved, but like what does that oftentimes ends up leading to? A mediocre life, just staying average.
When I told y'all Crabtree was mediocre, at best.
Never getting too high or too low. But on the other hand, if you actually take the jump, if you actually show yourself and show others like you have the courage to do so, to cut the ropes, to go all in on yourself, yes, you might be judged. Yes, it may not work out right away, but I think ultimately you're going to learn more about yourself in the process. You're going to gain so much wisdom and life experience from doing that. You're going to learn about yourself. You're not going to have any regrets. So as far as I see it, that's going to end up being a case of either I win or I learn. It's impossible to fail when you're going all in on yourself. So call me a tryhard, make fun of me for betting on myself, but like, I would do it 10 times out of 10. Anyways guys, I hope you guys found this video inspiring, interesting. I hope you guys learned a new perspective from this video. I hope that you guys are able to overcome any of the darkest times in your own lives, and remember like that even when you're going through the time in your life, whether it's a deep dark depression, whether it's a time when nothing seems to be working for you, remember that darkness can either be used to mold you and shape you into the person who you're actually meant to become, or on the other hand, it could break you. And that is actually your choice. It's up to you. Anyways, make sure you subscribe to the channel, be sure to drop a like, leave a comment, let me know your thoughts on this video. I will catch you guys in the next one. Stay positive, stay hustling, stay grinding, believe in yourself. Catch you guys next time. Peace.